All right, folks, we are back. The last Providence Geeks of 2016. And this is Brian Jepson here with Seth Fandetti of Immerz, the makers of the KOR-FX. Seth, you are the CEO of Immerz.
I'm the CEO of Immerz, and the KOR-FX gaming vest is our first consumer product.
Your first consumer product. You guys are based in Rhode Island.
Yes, based in Providence.
You weren't always.
No, we were starting in Cambridge, and I quickly retrieved the company and said we need to go to Providence because there's better food, less crowds, and we like Providence a lot.
Oh, that's great. And you have the product.
Yes.
You launched it on Kickstarter, didn't you?
We did. We launched it on Kickstarter in 2014, and we had about a 200% funding, and it's been a great product to work with. We're enjoying it, and we're working on our future products.
Tell us about the product.
It is a haptic gaming vest which uses audio, and we transform it into acousto-haptics, which lets you feel your game and provides tactical feedback in a vest form, and that basically allows gamers to have a deeper sense of immersion. And now our focus is really on VR.
So somebody playing a VR game is going to put on the vest, and what does it do?
So if you were in VR, if you think about a traditional VR experience, you're immersed by the sound around you, and you have immersion by obviously the visuals from the VR headset. But what you don't have is any feeling, and you're dealing with virtual objects. So one of the ways that we help you achieve feeling is by wearing a haptic vest. And so if you imagine a horror game and you're walking by a door and all of a sudden there's a thud, it thuds you. Okay? Or you can tell the textures you're walking on, whether it be sand or gravel. If the wind blows by you, there'll be a sensation over you. So we try to provide a realism aspect to VR. And while we can't cover your entire body, the parts we're covering are very nerve-centric, and they give you a very in-depth feeling for the areas it covers.
So this isn't just a rumble pack.
No, rumble packs rely on spinning motors with a lopsided weight. That's traditionally how they've always been built. Acousto-haptics is a very advanced technology which takes audio from the game, so it's following what you're doing in the game and using that audio and transforming it to provide you feedback based on what's happening on screen.
Now you're actually manipulating people neurologically.
Yes.
You're making them...
We're using your limbic system to manipulate your emotions neurologically by tricking your body to thinking it's feeling something that it physically isn't.
What's the most extreme response you've witnessed to...
I think if there's a YouTube video on KOR-FX YouTube page, which is YouTube/KOR-FX, that has an Australian reporter who put the vest on and literally exploded with laughter and crying, and I think it's hysterical to watch, and people should watch that. Literally, it was such a viral emotional response.
Wow. Really, I mean, are you going for fear? Are you going for presence?
Going for immersion. I mean,
immersion.
We're trying to figure out, and we haven't conquered it yet, but we're getting there, how you really introduce a new sensation to virtual media, and whether it be traditional movies or whether it be new wave, virtual games and applications. How do you really bring them closer to doing that?
But I could see this being really powerful, say with a jump scare in a horror film.
Yes, it's very powerful in a jump scare. It's also very powerful any type of horror genre, but also roller coasters, for example. People say roller coaster. Well, if you're on a VR roller coaster, there's no feeling, right? You don't feel like you're on a roller coaster. If you're on a VR roller coaster, the vest, you feel that it gives you that sense of anticipation. When is this thing going to drop? So the little subtle effects sometimes are the most effective at really displaying happiness.
Do you find that there's sort of a time limit to how much time you can spend in a virtual reality game?
Right.
Does this help with any of the nausea, disorientation?
It does. I mean, typically the limitations of virtual reality are based on your eyes and based on the overall wearing an uncomfortable headset that eventually gets you nauseous, as you said. Haptics bring you more reality-based. They almost like looking out a window in a plane helps calm nausea, or looking at a steady object or in a boat from shore helps. So we try to bring that grounding. I can't tell you that that's 100% effective, but it is definitely, it aids in it. It aids.
And you had described a scenario with one of the games that you targeted initially where people are triangulating bullets that are several rooms away.
Right. Yeah. So Counter-Strike is a game that's been around for many, many, many years, and the hardcore gamers play it. So we have an esports team called Team Orbit that we sponsor, and they're Counter-Strike players. And when we introduce them to Vest, they could triangulate positions of people in rooms in virtual world 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet away. Ordinarily, they have to rely on their hearing, but in a match sensation, when they're yelling back and forth to each other and there's explosions of bullets, they couldn't do that. With the Vest, they started to learn how to do that by feeling it, and so they became better players. And that is measured by the fact that we took the Vest off, they scored much worse.
Wow.
And so we definitely knew it had a really positive effect on their game.
Wow. Where do you see Immerz and KOR-FX being in 1 year?
I hope in 1 year we'll have our version 2 test out, which we're very, very excited for. And I hope we'll also have our first licensing deal with one of a few tablet companies we're talking to integrate our unique haptics into cell phones and tablets.
Great. Seth Fandetti, thank you so much. CEO of Immerz.
It's a real pleasure being here, and I look forward to coming next time as a visitor and to get to hear the next week.
Thanks, Seth.